This video is done in collaboration with Damiensaber. Greetings, knowledge seekers, the force is with you. Today, we're going to be reviewing this baselit entry-level Darksaber from Damiensaber. If you watched The Mandalorian on Disney+, you're probably familiar with the Darksaber, which is an ancient lightsaber that was wielded by the first Mandalorian Jedi, pre-Vizsla. Now, this isn't the first series that the Darksaber appeared on. It was actually introduced on the Clone Wars animated series and later the Rebels animated series. If you pay close attention, the look and feel of the Darksaber somewhat changed between animation and live action. In the Clone Wars and Rebels, the Darksaber appeared a gray and silver with a rectangular shape. By the time it appeared in The Mandalorian, it changed to a smoother, rounder hilt with a darker color. There's no canon explanation for this, and some may dismiss it as artistic liberty between animation and live action. However, Disney did release an early toy version of the Darksaber that followed the boxy look of the animation before the live action version came. For headcanon, perhaps the hilt was forged to be easier to wield. But also remember, Star Wars has a long history of individual lightsabers having different variations, including in the same film. Look up all the variations of Darth Vader's lightsaber. It changes multiple times just within Return of the Jedi. So what we have here today is a nice entry-level baselit Darksaber based on the animation design. So let's get ready to rule Mandalore and unbox this. All right, so this isn't your typical box with a lightsaber inside it because it is a different shape. So the hilt's inside here. We got the manual, nice colored manual with graphics. Always great to have that than just the little text ones. Charging cable, and we have the blade. We also have our Allen keys and screws. So let's open up the hilt first. It's taped up in a lot of bubble wrap. Yeah, the Rebel style Darksaber. It's very square compared to the one in The Mandalorian and the one in the Clone Wars. But in canon, it is the same saber. We'll pull out the blade. So this is everything it comes with. So here's how the hilt looks like. It has the 4 open holes on the side of the emitter with the angled guard. It has the lined striping all the way around. The speaker hole is actually on the side, so it's not in the way of your hand. And the pommel is rectangular, or more of a trapezoid shape, and it even has that one little detail right here of the little trapezoid held in with a screw. The buttons are on the upper part of the guard, and there's 2 buttons there. Now let's get a few things out of the way. This is a great saber for displaying, especially if you want a complete collection of Darksabers. It's solid, it's heavy, and well made, but I wouldn't recommend it for spinning or dueling. The hilt shape is somewhat hard to grip, and it is kind of heavy. You could hurt yourself or someone else with it. So this makes better as a display piece. And this thing is even heavier once you have the blade on. Now I went outside to actually try spinning it myself, and just like Din Djarin with the Darksaber, it feels like I'm fighting to wield it. Probably explains why they redesigned it for live action. But what's really great though is that it really follows the small details of the Darksaber as it appeared in both animated series. So like I said, this is a baselit lightsaber. That means that instead of individual LEDs within the blade, it's one bright LED, well, one Tri-Cree LED at the base, and it shines through the baselit component-free blade. Now, what you're gonna notice is that it is a little brighter towards the bottom than it is on the top because the light source is actually closer to here. But although it's baselit, it does shine through all 4 of the holes of the emitter, which I really, really like. The saber looks good displayed on a stand with or without the blade. And like I mentioned, the speaker is low on the hilt, so you don't end up covering it when you're gripping it, which one of the official versions is known for having the speaker just right where you're gonna grip it, so you'd be covering it with your hand. And to charge the battery, you just have to unscrew the pommel. There's 2 screws, one on each side, and it will expose a USB Type-C port on the bottom. Now the electronics used here is an RGB baselit tri-creed that includes 12 sound fonts, which include the Darksaber sound, which you hear here. And you can change the color and the style of the blade, but let's be honest, we'll be using this in white with the Darksaber sound font. Though it's baselit, it does include gesture control to turn it on and off. The blade that it comes with is a 36-inch blade. It's made for baselit, so it's supposed to diffuse the light as it shines through. Now, a really cool thing I've seen done with the saber was what I saw on Finding the Force, which is one of my favorite lightsaber channels. Obi-Dak Kenobi showed how he had his animation style lightsaber customized with a matte black finish he sent to have done. It looks really cool, and I plan to do this finish on the saber myself. In fact, while we're here, check out his Darksaber comparison video of his multiple Darksabers. Another really great thing about this hilt is that it does have a flat saber core, which is interchangeable between different Darksabers from the same manufacturer. So I plan on converting this into a full NeoPixel. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see the full mod of changing the finish and upgrading the electronics. So controlling the saber isn't much different from your standard custom sabers on the market. You just don't have the LED ring indicator on the button, but navigating isn't that hard if you can count in seconds. So let's go through some basics on how to control the saber. So you can tap to turn it on. Also to turn it off, hold down the button. You can also turn it on with gestures. Twist again to turn it off. Now if I want to control the volume, I want to hold it down for 1 second, exactly 1 second. 1. Now it's on volume low. Now it's quiet. If I want it to mute, 1 second. Now when I turn it on, there's no sound. Now if I do that again, 1.
Volume high.
Now it's on volume high, and it's really loud. Now one thing that I noticed about the speaker is it is pretty loud, and the way it's chambered, it does sound a little deep during ignition. Now if we want to change the blade style while the blade is off, it's 2 seconds when you hold the button. 1, 2.
Pulse.
So now I have a pulse on. Little bit of a pulse there. Let's change it to another one. 1, 2.
Steady.
Steady. Now it's just a solid on. Let's go 1, 2.
Unstable.
Unstable. It's a little bit more of a strobing effect. I know it's hard to see on the camera, but it is actually strobing really fast. Now let's turn it on. If we want to do our blaster deflect, it's just 1 tap of the button. If we do a 1 second hold, it's blade lockup. Now if we do a 2 second hold, it's gonna allow us to change the color. 1, 2. So if you look, the saber's actually changing colors. There's a green. And then we just double click when we see a color that we like. Back to white, which is what the Darksaber is supposed to look like. Here's more of a pink, purplish pink. Blue. It's actually cool seeing the Darksaber in different colors. And back to white, let's double click. We'll keep that. Now, one of the things I just realized, there's 2 ways to actually change the color. If you do, I think 2 seconds, it does the whole RGB mixing the color all the way through. And if you do it a little longer, it'll do the solid colors cycling through it. So let's turn it on. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, there's the red one. That looks really cool in red. Now there is smooth swing. There is clash sounds on it. And if you want to change the sound font, all you have to do is hold the button down. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dark Ages.
Now it's a different sound font, so it's going to sound different and it might even look different. This is the Dark Ages sound font that kind of sounds like a sword. Let's do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The second.
The second. Ooh, I actually like this sound. It's really deep in its tone. So it's very similar to how your standard NeoPixels work with gesture control. It's really easy to use once you understand how to cycle through them with the button. So I hope you like this demo of this baselit animation style Darksaber from Damiensabers. For more lightsaber videos, follow this playlist right over here, and we'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, this is the way.